All right, all right. Let's see if we are live and having some technical difficulties here, trying to manage a trade, all that good stuff. Let me know if you can hear me. We're going to try this live. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Hope you guys, if you decided to trade this in the green, I did take the Trump tariff bounce. I was looking at this play from earlier today. Uh, we knew that the tariffs, everything that happened on Friday, we knew the whole Canada-Mexico situation, Canada and Mexico doubling down on their tariffs. So we knew there was going to be a sharp pullback, 500 points. Now, I played the bounce on my Tick Trader accounts and my Tradeify accounts. I think I walked out with about 1,500 on this bounce alone. So then I said, all right, let's see if we can get some combines and some Apex evals in. So I am in a long on this bounce, but being very careful here. We've approached the high of this range, at least the local range. Eyeing it, I have an initial target at 55, which is the test of this top here. But being realistic, I may not get it. So, if I come down to test this 20 SMA, I really don't want to give up the profit there. I may have to close at least one contract. I'm playing two minis right now on 150K Topstep and 150K Apex. One thing about the news, I knew we were going to have a sharp, well, not just me, everybody knew there was going to be a sharp drop. The problem is, how do you play, well, if you were quick on the trigger, you could have caught that short right on the open. I was more interested in the bounce. If you look at the 30-minute and the 50-minute, the pivot was right around the 940 level, and we rejected pretty quickly on that pivot level. That was my indicator as far as attempting a long. Like I said, I took it on Tradeify and Tick Trader, and that long paid nicely, about $1,200, $1,300. We are above this range. If you look at this range that we've been battling, it could be the breakout. But listen, I'm in the green. Although these are evals and combines, do I really need to be that greedy? It looks like we're breaking out of that range, and this is the range I'm talking about right here. We were initially in a channel. We broke down. This is my entry right here. So right now, I was risking what, $700. I'm about 2,100 in the green right now, so I got a 3-to-1 trade. How much more do I want to push this? So maybe let's do the right thing, the smart thing. Another drop. Where do I want it? I'm at 134. Give 10 points up on this pullback, maybe. That'll be the initial take profit. I added on the second pullback. That was a VWAP bounce. But I could see how we need another pullback here if we're truly going to bounce further above the 100 level. We've had issues here at the 130 for some time. This is the, 1, 2, 3, now fourth attempt to go above the 130. Looks like it's the breakout, but I'm going to trail this pretty tight. In terms of profit, in terms of targets, let's see. We got that high, right? We still have to resolve what's going to happen here. 200 SMA it's up there. We can see a run to 200, but we'll see. Let me know how you guys did on that open. Hopefully you didn't short it at the bottom. That was a sharp pullback. But I could see if you shorted within the first seconds or so, you would have got a nice short as long as you were able to get in and out. All right, but good evening, everyone. Welcome to the stream. My name is JC. So we're at 140. I'm not going to give it more than 10 points at this point. Let's start slowly creeping that. Got initial target at 155, but again, we are approaching resistance. This would be the second attempt. I really don't want to take another pullback. I get it. We may be going to the upside, but another significant pullback may be needed before, we resolve what's going to happen up here, or this could be it for a bounce and we're headed for further downside. Welcome to the stream. My name is JC. I trade NASDAQ. Nasty NQ futures every single day. I was very excited about today's Sunday open with the Trump tariff news. It wasn't a question of if we were going to go down or not with Canada and Mexico countering the tariffs. It was just a question of how much, and was it going to have were we going to see continuation on that pullback? Obviously we didn't. We had a sharp initial bounce. At least for now, we're in a bounce, but that does not mean anything. I'm being very careful, very realistic. At least in this wave, I may need to take a sharper pullback to test the 20, then either bounce right back up or further downside. If you look at the trade, it goes back to my initial entry was at 424. That's about 25 minutes right after the Sunday open. And I've been in this painfully. I tried to open the stream earlier, but I had some problems with OBS, but finally got everything going. It looks like at least we're finally up and running. I did take a sharp pullback to the VWAP here. Then saw another bounce. I took another pullback. So far it's been a 700 drawdown. Right now this is turning to be 7 times 3, 21. We're comfortably a 1 to 3 trade right now, which is what I like. In other words, on this initial entry, I did take the drawdown here about $700. I added on the second pullback, right? You don't add on the first pullback because technically this could be your death window right here. The second pullback came to VWAP and it bounced nicely. I was watching for the bounce here. Had this been a second pullback below my entry, then at that point I call it a day. That trade's invalid. But that VWAP, if you look at the VWAP at the 5 minute, it held nicely. At that point, that was my entry. It was not a DCA entry. That was a second position already in the green, right? If my entry here was at 66 and my second entry was 89, the bottom of this range, that was a entry on a pullback in the green, right? Now, if I were to trade this the whole night and we truly are going to the upside, where's the third pullback or fourth pullback? And if I get another, if I were to stay that long, I don't think I will at this point. So right now we have a stop right here on the top of this range. I can see how it needs to test it, but notice the 20 SMA is creeping up. I don't want to give too much of it back. So we'll see. This does look like a pullback needed if we're going to continue to push to the upside. But we'll see. We shall see. NQ does what it wants to do, not what you want it to do. Good evening, everyone. My name is JC. I trade NASDAQ NQ futures every single day. Bring you the wins. Okay, looks like my initial take profit is going to be hit on a stop. I'm okay with that. I'm about $2,000 in the green. It's okay. It looks like we're struggling to gain position above the initial range. This range between the 90 and the 130. 130 is proving to be resistance. Now the 20 SMA is pushing up, but I could see how on this move, we're going to need to test it. That's fine for my initial entry. We'll call that take profit right there. And then on the second, if we are truly going to push to the upside, I'll watch for the 20 SMA providing support, continuing to provide support on this move up. But it is getting, in other words, we are coming up to consolidation where it is struggling. I may just close here probably for, I'd like to keep the $1,800 to $2,000 profit is fine. No need to get too greedy. But if I can capture the test of the top, then we'll go for that. So that's what I'm looking at right now. To be safe, to avoid any wicks to the downside, what are you looking at here? I mean, listen, I may get it. But I could see how we need a sharper pullback, the fourth pullback on this to continue to the upside. There it goes. There goes my initial exit. And if I see a flush below the 20, which I do see potentially happening right now. So it just tested the 20. Is the 20 going to provide the support to continue to push to the upside? I don't know, but I also don't want to find out. So at this point, I'm going to set a take profit below the test of that 20, but it's very tight. I see it struggling here, and there's no need to take a further pullback or an insane pullback. I may look at let this pullback play out. Let's see if we're going to have to test VWAP once again, and then we'll play to the upside. So what do we got here? All right, so we close around $1,900 in the green. Done with this trade. Let me close my take profit up here. But you know, we tried to push above the initial range, and we're coming back to test it. I could be faked out, but $1,900 in the green, okay. I took $700 in drawdown. That's a nice 3-to-1 trade, so I'm okay with this. What am I looking for now? If I want to take another trade, I need a serious pullback before I enter again. It looks like you know, we're simply testing the 20 SMA here. You know, if I see a push up and that's it for this pullback, and the 20 SMA is providing support to the upside, we are still technically in. All right, here's where it gets interesting. Let's see how far back this pullback is going to go. And we'll see. Maybe I'll take a second entry and give it all up. Welcome, everyone, to the stream. My name is JC. I trade NASDAQ NQ futures every single day. I rarely do a Sunday opening trade, but with the news, we knew it was going to be juicy trading today, so I hopped on. If you haven't done so, smash that like, smash that subscribe button. More importantly, hit that notification bell so that you get updated when I post content. All right, so patience on this. Very nice trade that played out. Initial entry on the break of the 20 SMA right here. Did catch a nice, a significant pullback that bounced right back up, added at the bottom of this range and the test of VWAP. VWAP held, so I added and got a little bit more here for about $1,900. Like I said, we came to the top of this level, top of this range, and that's where I saw the weakness. Did not want to risk too much of the profits, although this is a healthy pullback. In other words, we need to pull back to continue to the upside. I'd rather take the profits right now. And if I'm going to enter again, I mean, this would be trade number 3. I'll have to think about it. If I see a touch of VWAP, but we're far. I mean, VWAP is all the way down to 80 level. And if the 20 SMA is providing the support right here and we're simply testing for the upside, then who knows? Maybe I'll hop on again. But I could see how this is time for a significant pullback before we have any movement to the upside. So I'm okay with the take profit there. We are now, this is confirmation that we are still range bound, right? This is not the break. This is the initial range that I identified. We had a little bit of basing here, basing. But at the end of the day, this was the top. This was the level that we really needed to break out of. We did not, at least not for now. We have now flushed below the 20 SMA, but the 20 SMA is still providing that magnet effect where although we push down, it's coming right back up to test it. And now we watch. We'll see, how it plays out here. Welcome everybody. Dustin, Cards Fan, MT. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done so, do me a favor, smash that like, smash that subscribe button, and let me know how you did if you're trading tonight. All right, well, that's good. So the 20 SMA is providing that support. Although we had that little flush, right? A needed flush to test, right? Where we've been testing on this push up. It's not been the smoothest to the upside, but we are moving up, pull back to test levels. We tested already VWAP. We just tested the 20. The 20 SMA is now providing support. We are at the 1 hour level at this 140, which going back to about an hour ago, we tried to push, failed miserably. And now we're right back here. So 140 level is critical. I could see how we have a push up and then a test and then a ramp up. I could consider that. But one thing that's been happening throughout this red line is the 200. 200 has been slowly creeping down. That's going to be your initial resistance if we touch it tonight. So trades for today on Tradeify and my Tick Trader account, I took the bounce of the pivot level around, I think it was 950, 960. During the open, we saw it come right down. I mean, it touched to the T, the pivot point on the 15-minute. You had that bounce. I played that bounce up, and I think I walked out with like $1,200, $1,300. And then on the, well, you're going to have to watch the stream again. I had a 150K Topstep Combine and a 150K Apex eval that I played or continued the second bounce, right? We had this initial bounce. We came back to test the initial flush, entered on the first long here with a mini. Of course, this is NQ. Let it ride, saw this high, pulled back, saw this high, pulled back. At that point, I took about $600, $700 in drawdown on that contract, test VWAP, and we had that quick bounce. Because of the quick bounce, I left the position, no need to get shaken out. That's simply a stop hunt run for anybody longing, just like I have. Anybody who's playing that range, you try to long here, right? You got to be aware of stop hunt runs. You can't be shaken out. It's a longer positioning. Then we saw another attempt to break out of this range. We had another pullback, a test of VWAP, and that's where I got interested in the second position. VWAP held, and we continued to push up. We came and touched the top of this level, this blue level, and at that point I was watching for strength. Did not see the strength, at least at that time, and really didn't want to take a pullback all the way back down. And yes, we can go up, but it was time to lock profits. So you saw the two minis, an out here and an out mini here for about $1,900, $2,000 across both accounts. Well, it looks like that take profit was a good idea. We're taking a little pullback here. Let's see how far, right? I'm watching for VWAP around the 90 level on the 15-minute. If 90 holds, which is technically my second entry, right? I told you guys that that's what test the VWAP. We're testing VWAP once again, which is the bottom of that range. And we'll see. If we see a flush that holds, right? Not a flush with a wick, that's just to shake you out. That's why I use the 150Ks, because with the 150Ks, I can afford that drawdown, right? You're gonna have within Q, compared to ES or the Russell, right? You're gonna have these fake out flushes, fake out breakouts. So you have to be able to maneuver with drawdown, right? I mean, you still got to manage the risk, but as long as you have an idea of where your levels are and how much drawdown you're willing to take below a significant level, you can't get shaken out by something like this. This was just a stop hunt run on anybody longing the bottom of this range. Everyone's doing the same thing right now. Everyone's watching these ranges, right? If you're longing the bottom of this range, well, you're gonna have to afford a pullback. You know, it's how much of that pullback you're willing to take. Audio stops every couple of minutes. Let me know. Yeah, I did have issues. That's why it took me so long to connect. So let me know. Maybe I'll have to cut the stream and come back in. But as you can see, I'm perfectly fine with the out, right? We're simply range bound. And we have to be aware that this consolidation zone is still playing out. You can't get too excited up here on a breakout to the upside, and you can't get too excited down here on a breakout to the downside. We're testing now VWAP right now. I played the test already. Do I want to do it one more time and test my luck? Who knows? We'll see. Or could this be the final break of this attempted pullback on the sharp Trump tariff news? I mean, 500 points. That's insanity. To be honest with you, I was expecting a stronger bounce to the upside. That's why I'm a little worried that, you know, from 950 to about 140 on a 500 point pullback, and that's it. Granted, it's the overnight, it's Asia, everything's a little slower. I don't trade it that much, so I couldn't say if that's a significant pullback or not. New York session, that bounce is peanuts compared to what we're used to seeing. So let me know if the audio's good or bad. Ace, I don't know. We'll see if somebody else writes if audio is bad. All right, so we tested VWAP, initial bounce again, similar to this entry here, which is the bottom of that range. Do I really want to press my luck here and go for another long? Maybe let's just wait and see if we're still range bound. Maybe play the break. I could see how we come to the 200. The 200 has been creeping down during this whole bounce, which is what I'm not liking. I could see how we come touch the 200 and reject. Or I may get into scalping mode and just quick scalps in and out, 10 points, 20 points. We'll see. But that's what we have so far in terms of the Trump tariff pullback or flush. We dropped about 500 all the way down to about the 21,000 level. We came down to about 940 and had that sharp bounce. And from there, you know, we've been attempting. But if you see the initial top of that bounce, that's exactly where we're at right now, which tells me this could be a bear flag formation. This could be consolidation for a final push to the downside. So if that's the case, then I'm completely okay with my long. In other words, this is the entry around 68, came all the way up to the 50, did not close there, took a pullback, and then on the second pullback added at VWAP. So at no point did I DCA or add into red. Watched the pullback and added there. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. Perfect. Mad Pursuits. Thank you, brother. Thanks for letting me know. For anybody new to the channel, my name is JC. I trade NASDAQ, NQ, futures every single day. Rarely do I trade a Sunday, but if I have strong news and I smell volatility coming, you'll see me. You'll see me there. But so I've been watching X and I've been watching some of the posts on people blowing accounts, right? On any news event, whether it's PPI, something like this with the whole Trump tariff thing. Yes, the majority of us were expecting a pullback. The problem is when you have 500 points, that's a significant pullback. At that point, you know, you're thinking, are we going to continue, right? You watch that first, this is 1 minute candles. You watch the initial 1 minute. If you look at the next minute, on the next 1 minute candle, we did not go any further down than that initial 1 minute. With a 500 point pullback, you would expect further down. But we came to a pivot point and it bounced. I mean, if you look at the 15-minute, that 940 to the T, the bounce rate here was exactly that pivot point. Then I'm watching this blue line, which is the 21,000 level. That provided the initial consolidation here. That was, what, 4 1-minute candles. And then we finally saw the push up. I'm not going to enter on the initial push up. I waited for the pullback. In other words, you come and test that level, and then we saw it. Now, I should have entered sooner, right? This is, you got volatility, you got the Trump tariffs. Do I really want to trade this? Second guess myself and entered a little late, to be honest with you, probably 20 points late. So at that point, I'm trying to formulate a 1 to 3 trade. In other words, if I'm going to risk at this point this, right, my stop has to be significant. I can't just put a 10-point stop because I'm thinking about drawdown, right? Your stop has to be based on levels, not drawdown. So I knew that I was in for significant drawdown, but that's why I used the 150Ks. It was my mistake not to enter 20, 25 points below. But mentally, you got to be aware of that. I was like, all right, I didn't enter where I should have. My stop already has 20 points based on my mistake for not entering correctly. So longed, right? Did not catch any drawdown, drove it all the way up here. Look at these levels, how accurate they are. Literally tested at an initial rejection. At that point, I'm going for bigger points. Got greedy here, another test. And then that's when I got the big flush. This is a shakeout flush. That's just a liquidity grab going for anybody who is trying to long either my level, the level that I initially talked about, or if you now identified the range, right, you were trying to long that range. Well, you got nice little liquidity grab there, or a stop hunt run to shake everybody out. Did not get shaken out. Why? Well, the drawdown just wasn't there yet. Technically, this is your stop. Your entry should have been somewhere in this area with an initial stop below this level, right? We did not come to that level. We bounced, right, and then got into consolidation. Then this is the area where I got interested. We came back to test the VWAP. VWAP provided support. And on that pullback, right, you enter on pullbacks. If you're going to long, you're not going to enter at the top. So at that point, I entered with a second long, right? 2 minis now at this point. Not a DCA entry. I was in the green. And at that point, I had a target. Actually, the initial take profit, if you watched the beginning of the video, was the test of this high. My second take profit was somewhere up here, but realized that quickly we just don't have the steam. And even right now, it does not look like we have steam for further upside. With a 500-point drop and a bear flag technically forming, this could be the initial dead cat bounce for further downside. But I'm comfortably in the green, 1900 across this Topstep 150 that I opened up today, along with an Apex eval. Tick Trader, Tradeify. I took the bounce of the pivot point, and I think I walked out with like 1,200 on those accounts. Those are closed, done. I'm not even going to trade them tomorrow during the New York Open. They're done. No need to trade them if I'm comfortably in the green. So on these, right, I'd like to see if I can get closer to maybe $3,000 or 2,500. So I might take a second trade for the night. King Caesar is in the house. Let's go. All right, everybody. If you're new to the stream, my name is JC. I trade NASDAQ, NQ, futures every single day. Do me a favor, smash that like, smash that subscribe button. More importantly, hit that notification bell so that you get notified and annoyed when I post content. All right. So if you see these are some of the things that you have to look at while you're trading, right? Although I was looking for a stronger bounce, right? Quickly realized fatigue, right? This move to the upside was really going back into the range. And at that point, I decided to exit that trade, entry, entry, take profit. Walked out with about 2,000 in the green on that trade alone with two minis, um, both on my Apex and my Topstep. Um, but who knows? Normally, this is the time to shut it all down. To be fair, I have closed Tradeify and Tick Trader. Like I said, thank God I'm in the green already. And tomorrow's open, I will not be trading those. Working on getting my, what is it, fourth express with Topstep. So we'll work on that one tonight and tomorrow. But technically, this is, although it's one trade, two entries, unless I see something really juicy, call it a night, comfortably in the green, 1,900 bucks, with not even over leveraging, just two minis. That's a solid trade. Solid trade. Yep. So for those of you that were tuned in when I was watching this 20 SMA rejection, right? It tried to provide support. It failed to provide support for a continued play to the downside. What else was I watching? My 200 SMA was creeping to the downside. It was applying that pressure to the downside. Yes, it's a healthy pullback. In other words, we're not always just, even if we end up by the morning up to 300 or 400 right back up, you still need pullbacks to make that happen. So what I said was, I really don't want to take the heat at this point. Might as well take this initial profit, reevaluate along, right? We are below VWAP on the 5-minute and the 15-minute range, actually across 5, 15, and 30-minute. If we can't establish position above VWAP, where at this point it's the only place I would long, this could be the end. This could be a dead cat bounce and a bear flag plays out, and we're looking at further downside. Now, do I want to FOMO in on a short here just because I see it going down? Hell no. So again, if we extend this range, right, and we update where the levels are, look at this pullback. This is the area where we initially started to have fatigue. So maybe it's an adjustment, right? There we go. Right here, support, support, support. Flush of that area with an immediate bounce, right? And let's take a look at our tops, right? Boom. We start adjusting right now. We have been range bound. Although I was trying to play something for 150 or 200 points, you got to be realistic. It's not happening yet. It's range bound. So you can trade the range. However, I've taken now a trade that I walked out with 1,900. I think I'm okay with the range. At this point, I'm looking for breaks, something sharper. So we'll see. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Let me know how you did with your trades. Hopefully, if you got into the FOMO of that short, you caught it pretty early and you were able to walk out with some profit. The play on this Trump tariff, the Trump tariff trade for tonight was wait for that initial pullback. Watch for the bounce around the pivot point at the 940, 950 level. 50-point bounce. That's a green light. Long that. And I'll pull up Tradeify and Tick Trader in a second to show you guys that trade. That trade was an easy 80, 90 points just because you waited. You don't necessarily follow or, try to get the initial move. Even on the New York Open, very rarely do I capture the initial move on the Open. Usually when I try, I lose big time. Wait for the second move, which is usually just as juicy. Yeah, I mean, we're in this range. We're holding, right? What do we got here? We got the 70 level all the way up to 43. So you're talking about a 70-point range that's been playing out after the initial bounce on that flush, right? So you saw the play down to 940. We bounced right back up into this range, tried to take a pullback, but this level, this 1000 level, held. And at that point, we came to the top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, range bound. But the range is holding. And if you look, the only problem I see with a long at this level is we're currently below VWAP, which technically it can be a magnet, right? Just like the 20 SMA, it's going to continue to pull price to it to test, right? That's what you're looking for. You're looking, these moving averages, how they act they're magnets for price. Price will come up and test. Price will come down and test. Price will either break through and you have a sharp pullback, or price will break through to the upside and you have a breakout. But that's how you watch for these levels. You have to be careful when you're range bound trading, playing tops or breakouts, right? Anybody who got it FOMO'd into getting out of this range on a long, well, it didn't work that nicely for you. Same thing up here, where I was getting greedy almost, right? I think you guys saw me here second guessing myself on trying to get this out. I said, all right, well, if I come to test the 20, that's all I'm going to give it at this point. In other words, the play to the upside is not going to continue. We need a pullback. The pullback, though, right now is still at the bottom of this range, but we'll see. I'm still not seeing a significant bounce here. We're probably going to need to come back and test the 20 SMA if we're truly going to break. Now, ooh, look at this 200. The 200 has creeped all the way down, providing that resistance, right? If we're going to do an initial bounce, this is the problem with that initial bounce, it's going to be short-lived. You'll break above the 20, you'll come and test the top, and now the 200 SMA, providing that initial rejection. I mean, for you to break through the 200 SMA on an initial touch, you need news, you need the open, you need some power. So I would suspect the 200 SMA continues to creep down, which means that in order to break above it, we do need to test. And yeah, the levels right now, as the 20 and the 200 get closer, not liking it. When the 200 was all the way up here, if we go back to my initial entry, this was my initial entry, right? Why did I enter there? I saw the push above the 20, and right there, what I'm doing, I'm banking on the 20 becoming support. It did become support with a couple of attempts to break below it, but held. This one pushed all the way down, right? That was your stop, hunt, run, and an immediate push up. But here, I'm comfortably long throughout this play. Why? Because the 200 SMA was all the way up here. In other words, resistance was pretty far up. Now it's creeped really close. So a couple things. You're going to have an area of confluence form right here, and usually those are pretty big moves. Could be to the upside, it could be to the downside. Based on what we're seeing here, it looks like we're seeing a breakout, a failure of this range now, and we got some more downside coming up. And I could FOMO in on one of these, but I need these candles now to have continuation, follow-up. To King Caesar's point, if you're going to scalp something like this, right, we need 2, 3, I like 2, 3, 4 1-minute candles with continuation. That's where you grab quickly 20, 30, 40 points and call it a day. All right, so do we have exhaustion at this level to the downside, and this is the bounce area? Could be, could be. We look at the 15-minute. Are we basing, right? The bottom of the range on the 15-minute, right? 60 level being tested again, and it's providing that support. So usually this is what you're looking for, right? You have a bounce, you come back and test the critical level, and then your entry for the long. What we're watching here, because we had a strong move, 500 points, is our technically we have further downside. And that's why I'm not quick on the trigger right now. I'd like to see a confirmation that this is the end of this pullback before I attempt any other long. Technically, I should be done for the day, especially with these two accounts at $1,900 each on one trade during the Sunday open. Tick and Tradeify also in the green. So I'm done. Tomorrow morning I'll stream, but I'll probably trade these accounts, or I might open some more. What do we got? Another combine, another 150K. I might try some other take profit trader or some other account and trade tomorrow. But as far as my funded, straight to funded Tick and Tradeify, no, those are comfortably in the green. They're done for today. Those will come back to Tuesday for trading. Thanks to you guys. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. For anybody new to my stream, my name is JC. I trade NASDAQ NQ futures every single day. Trying to bring you my wins, my losses, my tilt moments live. You guys caught a nice little loss last week with a nice recovery trade. But I also want to get into the idea that there will be days where it's red and I got to walk out with red. I'm okay with that. So again, we're watching the bottom of this level. Is this the exhaustion on this pullback? Ooh, here we go. We got another attempt to go down. We are technically below this range now, but this is where you got to be careful. We come back and test VWAP at the 80 level. That could be a quick little scalp. But again, for me, in the green already, I have to, if I really am going to take another trade, especially with being this amount in the green, take it easy. No need to push this any harder. Smarter thing would probably be to open up some new accounts while I'm streaming and play around with those. But maybe we'll do that for tomorrow morning. I will be streaming tomorrow New York session. However, because of the wins today on my funded accounts, Tick and what's it called? Tick, Tradeify, and my Apex PAs, I won't be trading those tomorrow. I'll be trading some combines, evals, or other test accounts. So for anybody just tuning in, my name is JC. I came in to trade the Trump tariff news, and it paid well. Everybody was kind of expecting this flush, not 500 points. I thought it was going to be maybe 200, 300 at most. But when you have a flush like that, these are 1 minute candles. You are being careful not to FOMO in on the short. I could see if you got in immediately at the opening, you were filled. You walked out with some nice profit. I didn't play that move. I watched for the initial bounce. That bounce, quickly realized that was the bounce on the pivot level at, what was it, 940, 950, and played that bounce with some Tradeify tick accounts, and then played on Rhythmic with Topstep 150K and Apex 150K with this initial long, second entry here. Final close on both contracts, both minis, for $1,900 in the green. And right now it looks like we are in for some further downside. But I can't play it here. The short was where I exited since we were range bound. That's where the short should have happened, and I got to get better at that. You're going to exit out of a long. It's for a reason, because you expect price to go down from there. I could have had an immediate short right then and there, and I'd be banking right now. That would have been close to 80 points right now. Bummer. So in my journaling, I will take a look at this trade probably tomorrow or sometime this week. How do I get my mindset when I see exhaustion on a long and get out properly, right? How do you make that into an immediate short? You're at the top of a range. It's exactly what you've been monitoring, right? You longing bottom, shorting tops. Yeah, like I said, I captured 1900, but this short, biting my tongue. And at that point, I can't FOMO here. I mean, sure, you can capture it. Actually, when we first started talking about the break of this level, if you went in there, quick scalp for 20 points or further downside. But because I'm already below the 20 and the 200, I have no play. The play, if you go back to my videos, was the break below the 20 right there. That was the play. That's where you short. And at that point, you're monitoring the 20 to continue to provide resistance. The only problem here is now price is about 20, 30 points below the 20. So at some point, it does have to come and test it. That doesn't mean it's going to go all the way back up. It just comes and tests and continues to the downside. And technically, now we're in a little price channel. Very tight. Usually when you have this tightness, you're going to have a significant break either to the upside or to the downside. Next level to watch if I'm going to long, well, it's this area right here. That was the level that provided the initial bounce, right? We can come back and test the bottom of the Trump tariff flush and then determine, are we going to have further downside or, at this point, chasing a short, being in the green already, I can't chase a short. Utmost, I do take positions. You got to watch some of my lives. There's been some green, there's been some red. But I just closed the position upmost. So, and as you can see, I'm $1,900 in the green on that trade. Not necessarily interested in forcing a second trade right now. I'd have to see if I'm really going to long this. I'd have to see a test of this area. We're testing this area right now, the initial VWAP test about an hour ago. This is a weak structure, so I could see how we bounce here and now build structure, but need a little more confirmation. So for anybody that is unfamiliar with Quantower, which is what I'm trading right now, these little arrows are my entries. Obviously, green is entries, red are exits. I don't put those arrows there. Those are the actual entries. I know a lot of people trade on Tradeify. This is how you read entries and exits here. So we're in this channel. Man, this short, biting my tongue for not taking that. Oof. Got a journal. I got to go back to that one. All right, so we came and tested this initial flush level, right? That's the 30, which has provided resistance on this pull, on this bounce, support on this push up, support, resistance, support, resistance, and now it looks like again resistance. Quick little scalp there for 20 points to test the 20 SMA. Let's see what happens here. If you're new to the stream, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, smash that like, smash that subscribe button, and more importantly, hit that notification bell so that you get notified when I post content. Okay, touched the 20 SMA and initial rejection. So as you're playing these channels, you know, if you're a scalper and just going for 10, quick 10, 15 points over and over again, right? You enter at the bottom of a channel, you test the 20, that's your out. But it's risky. We're in a descending channel. I'm looking to see what we're going to do here. 500 points after Friday's close is no joke. Well, looks like the slowness of Asia volatility is now in full effect. It's slowed down significantly. I may have to call it a night for today. Like I said, for anybody who's new to the channel, thanks for tuning in. My name is JC. I trade NASDAQ, the nasty NASDAQ NQ, every single day. Goal is to bring you the wins, the losses. Sure, we'll have some full tilt moments. That's when the views go up. Watching the Trump tariff flush on NQ. I'm sure I haven't looked at ES or Russell. I'm sure everything is down. But will the news hold tonight? Or are we simply going to bounce at this level? So we're going back to January 27. We came down to 782. So we got potential further downside, at least testing Monday, January 27 level, which is closer to all the way down to the 800 if we're truly going to use this momentum to the downside. Adam Rogers. I am not a full-time day trader. Side income, correct. Now for 2024, if you look at my YouTube, I made over 200,000 in deposited payouts from prop firms. That was mainly Apex, Topstep, well, mainly Apex and Fast Track Trading with their 20 accounts, and some Topstep payouts. This year, it's been a slower grind. I mean, January, I took some payouts from Tradeify and Tick Trader, and I think one or two from Topstep. But I don't have the luxury now of Fast Track with 20 accounts and not even entertaining 20 accounts with Apex. Apex right now, they pay a few, they don't pay. You gotta, it's the luck of the draw. So I only got a few PAs with them, and probably going to try to stay under the radar with Apex. Again, they pay me. It's just I went through the video reviews, and from what I've seen, not everybody is getting paid. So being cautious. But we'll see. We'll see how 2025. I've had to diversify. In other words, I'm trading them all. Tick, Tradeify, Apex, Topstep, Take Profit. I have not gotten a payout this year yet from Take Profit Trader, Bulenox, or Blue Sky. Those are the next ones that I'm working on. Adam Rogers, price action. If you look at my streams, I use the 20 and the 200 around 1 hour and 4 hour levels or along pivot levels. But listen, there's days that I'm in the red. There's trades that I'm in the red. There's trades that I recover. There's trades that I don't recover. I don't think you should look at this as your only line of income until you're truly profitable, consistent, making real bank. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Now it's funny. I went to get a haircut today, and I walked in. Everybody there knows that I day trade, and some of them follow me on YouTube. And then this guy comes in. He's a forex trader, parks a Lambo right there. We started talking for a little bit, but yeah, it's the big difference between futures traders and the forex guys. Forex guys are running around in Lambos, all of them. Futures traders, just a few. But even that forex trader, prop firms, the Fivers, I think is who he uses. Similar strategies, right? You're blowing accounts, but you're also trying to get funded, and at that point with the leverage on forex, I get it. I get why these guys are making real bank, but for now, futures is for me. Okay, so we're looking. Remember that level that I drew here? Notice how it became the resistance area. That is the area that we're testing right now. Now, looks like we're still testing this. Is this the second test of the 40 before we push to the upside? Well, it is moving very, very slow. I could see a quick scalp of maybe 1 or 2 contracts, but not seeing momentum in any direction. That's usually what turns me on. And it's Asia, it's after hours, it's Sunday. How much more momentum can we expect after a 500-point flush? Yeah, I mean, like I said, after I spoke, Adam Rogers, after I had a pretty long chat with this trader. Anytime you see a trader in a Lambo, I think I'm going to try to spend some time asking some questions. Yeah, the leverage with Forex, right? And still the same trading principles. You're still using pivot points, supply and demand, channels, ranges, right? It does seem like Forex offers higher, I guess, earnings potential. I'll have to take a look at it. Futures has been my thing for now over a year. 2024 was my first full year trading futures. So I also don't want to jump. Maybe I could look at it as another option with Forex, but after seeing this little kid, what was he, like 20 years old, driving around in a Lambo, man, you gotta think about Forex. But we're doing okay with futures, right? 2024 was a decent year for me. We'll see what 2025 brings, and that's the way I'm looking at it. I'll need to have the Lambo. But decent side income, why not? All right, there's my son fooling around with the remote again. There we go. Guys, I wish there was more volatility here, but this is Asia for you. Just not seeing anything. We've come back to test this level, but we're not having an aggressive bounce. We're also not having an aggressive flush. Could be done. I could be done for the night. But thanks for everybody for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, smash that like, smash that subscribe button. More importantly, hit that notification bell so that you get notified when I post content. Take a look at my website, jcdaytrader.com. I offer some discount links, discount codes with some of the prop firms that I trade. With any prop firm, make sure you read their rules, go to their website, get familiar with all the rules, their discords, make an educated decision, and never risk more than you're willing to lose. In 2024, we learned from several prop firms that, just because you're getting payouts or get to a payout doesn't necessarily mean you'll get the payout. So make sure you know and are educated on which prop firms you decide to do business with, and always only risk what you're willing to lose. I've also opened up my community Discord. You can see the link in the description of the video or by visiting www.jcdaytrader.com. I'm starting to get that community going. Still not much content there, but again, this is week 1 of live streaming here, trading NASDAQ live, and we'll see where this journey takes us. Renko charts, Brian, I have not, but you're welcome to enlighten me on what Renko charts are or reasons you use Renko charts. All right. Again, we're in this now, 20 point range, a little top here, a little bottom there. I can't trade that. Technically, you'd be watching for, either break or above or below, but this price action is just too slow to get me excited. We can come back into this range, right, and test again the 140 level if now that's truly the flush that we needed for the downside, and now technically basing, right? Basing around the 30 level, right? 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, and now we're at around 60, right? So is this finally the basing of this range? Usually like what I like to do in terms of giving myself a visual of a basing. There we go. Is that truly the basing, or is that now the target area for a break to the downside? Where if you see a break below that, you can look at testing some of these levels down here. So 30, that 30 area is becoming significant right now, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. But no momentum. But yes, for those of you that are new, I'm more of a price action, momentum driven trader. I use 20 and 200 along with 1 hour and 4 hour levels with pivot points to guide my entries and exits. If you notice this long, right, I saw the break above the 20 SMA, entered here. I was going, to be honest with you, for a longer play. I expected this bounce to be stronger, but NQ doesn't necessarily do what you want it to do. It does what it wants to do. So enter here on initial, caught a nasty flush, did not shake me out. At that point, I'm watching for resolution of that 1 minute candle. Are we going to get a bounce or continuation? Had we had continuation, well, yeah, I got to get out of that trade. But we had a healthy bounce, came right back up to test the 20 SMA, which is the purple line. We had another flush to test VWAP down here. VWAP coincided with the bottom of that range. Another healthy bounce. And then at this point realized that this top of this range was not going to be broken to the upside. In other words, we're not going to have continuation, which means you're just back to range bound trading, and got out pretty quickly on the test of the 20 SMA. To be honest, I expected and wanted this to be a stronger play to the upside. It just didn't happen. So walked out with $1,900. But I was looking at a stronger 1 to 4, 1 to 5 trade. What did I risk on that initial mini? About $700. I was looking for, $2,500, $3,000 on this trade. Walked out with only about $2,000 or $1,900. But it is what it is. I just didn't get the play that I wanted, but identified the top and got out on those minis. And I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I need resolution, but I need some price action, some momentum in either direction. Being fully aware that Asia may not give me that. It's going to be slow. It's a slow grind. The volatility happened around the Asia Open and the Trump tariff news, and now it's slow. Now it could pick up, and this could be the basing, and then we finally ramp up to the upside, and then tomorrow we wake back up where it all started, or we could have a significant push to the downside. But I think I captured the volatility. This could be it for tonight at least. Tomorrow morning, I will not be trading my Tradeify or Tick accounts. Those are in the green, and no need to push those. This is part of the New York Open. Technically, the Asia session in New York is all part of the same day. So we'll lock those profits and come back on those accounts on Tuesday. But maybe I'll open up some accounts tonight or tomorrow morning, and we'll play around with some combines or some eval accounts for the New York Open tomorrow. Everybody loved FTT. Although we all have FTT PTSD, right? Fast track trading PTSD. I didn't realize, I didn't find out about fast track trading until August, September, I think. No, maybe June, July. And I walked out with over $80,000 in deposited payouts that you see the videos here and all the proof with fast track, and then 20 accounts with Apex. Those were the big ones that paid last year until they ran into their issues. Fast track, man, I wish there was a prop firm that wants to take a risk and offer 20 accounts again with those lax rules. But that's what happened. They were too easy. Everybody ended up getting payouts and they went bankrupt. But man, fast track trading days. And I was one of the guys that made the least. I mean, there's guys that walked out with $250,000, $300,000 and more in payouts from fast track trading. But hey, it's 2025. Can't complain. We got Tradeify straight to funded. We got Tick Trader straight to funded. Like I said, I'm still trading with Apex. I don't affiliate. I don't promote Apex. Although I've gotten paid and continue to get paid, there's just too many traders that don't get paid, too many issues, too much inconsistency in terms of who gets paid and who doesn't. I don't feel comfortable promoting them or affiliating with them. If they get better and when they get better, sure, I will. If I had to stick with one prop firm, it depends on one main thing. So, where is your journey as a futures trader? Are you beginning? Are you experienced? In other words, have you taken payouts from other prop firms? That will answer what prop firm I would stick with. In my case, well, let's start with beginner traders. So if you're new to prop firms, you're new to futures prop firms, right? Whether you came from crypto, you came from options, or you're brand new, right? You watch YouTube videos, you see all these guys in their Lambos, you're like, I need to be a futures day trader. I want to get prop firms, blah, 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 blah. That's great. You know, you got inspired, you got motivated. That's good. That's how I started a year ago, right? Or a year and a half ago. But if you're a beginner trader, I do not recommend opening up straight to funded accounts yet. If this is just your initial wave of dabbling with futures prop firms, you gotta make it clear to yourself that you're gonna blow accounts at the beginning. Unless you're a pro trader, you know, you're you retired from Goldman Sachs and all that, well, yeah, maybe you can do it a straight fund. But if you're absolutely new, you're just motivated, you're inspired, someone inspired you, you got this inspiration to become a futures day trader or try to become a futures day trader, you're going to blow accounts at the beginning. I don't want anybody to think when I say, oh, I walked out with 200K last year, well, that's great. But someone asked a very good question on one of my streams. You know, you've been talking about your $200,000 deposits or your payouts in 2024. How much did it cost you? It's a good question. If you think about Apex, 20 accounts, Fast Track Trading, 20 accounts. I'm sure there's some blown accounts in the journey, right? And then you add all the activation fees, right? Fast Track Trading, you know, 150K accounts aren't cheap. Those are $300, $400, right? Multiply that by 20. So to walk out with that $200,000 payout last year with profits, not one payout, multiple payouts adding up to 200, easily $10,000 to $15,000 in the cost to get the accounts, blown accounts, right? So I don't want to misconstrue that it's just that easy. The first 6 months for me trading futures in 2023 or end of 2023, blowing accounts. And that's what you're going to do at the beginning. So find the prop firm that offers you the most drawdown for the least. The most drawdown for the least, right? You're not thinking about prop firms and all that yet because you're still in the blowing account phase. What you want to know is, how much does it cost me to get $3,000 in drawdown, a max loss limit? And choose your prop firm based on that, because most likely you're going to blow it. So it doesn't matter who it is at the beginning. No, you're just, if you're a smart buyer, you're saying, how much does it cost me to lose $2,000? How much does it cost me to lose $3,000? Well, with a straight to funded account, let's say you get one of their max loss limit accounts at $3,000. That could be a $300, $400 investment with a straight to funded. With a eval, right, or the challenge phase accounts, you can get $3,000 in drawdown for $40 with some prop firms. At the beginning, until you become consistent with one account or multiple payouts with one account, stop spending your money. The biggest mistake you're going to make is you get lured into the idea of getting 5, 10, 15, 20 accounts when you're not profitable. Don't do that to yourself. Just because, if you're blowing one account frequently, just because you get 5, 10, or 20 now does not mean you're going to all of a sudden become profitable and consistent. It means that you're going to blow 20 accounts now versus one. So careful with the buying multiple accounts too early. We've all gone through that phase of blowing accounts. Like I said, for me, end of 2023, it lasted about 4 or 6 months. It wasn't until 2024 that I became profitable. First 6 months, blow accounts until I understood futures. I came from the options trading world, so it took a while to adjust to the leverage, the volatility, especially trading on Q. All right, so if you look at this level here that I identified, looks like we're breaking. But man, this was the short. I'm going to have to go back and journal and figure out, how do I flip on position? Clearly saw the fading, clearly got out of a trade. Yes, I walked out with 1900, but for me, how do I let this go just like that? Can't beat myself. Yes, I made $1,900, but I'll take a look at that trade tomorrow or sometime this week. We are breaking down to the downside. We do have now 1, 2, 3 candles below the 20 SMA. Technically, the 20 points within 3 candles. Is this the flush? Is this the FOMO trade? And then driving for 20 points. I can see how it is, but I'm in the green. I can't do that. If I really want to long this, yes, you can probably FOMO this and capture some points to test these levels down here. I'd like resolution of this area. That's where it gets interesting. If we're truly going to flush to the downside, we need to figure out what's going to happen in this area. Yeah. King Caesar, did you get that little play right there? King Caesar, I can see how you played that break right there. Mr. Risco is in the house. Look at him. All right, so we came and tested that level. That's a 1 hour. That's the teal level, right? And initial bounce. And I just can't get over the fact that I missed this short. So I can't visually play this right now. I'm gonna miss this whole flush to the downside because I can't. I'm beating myself up on exiting this long and not realizing that was the top of the range and getting right back in. Especially on 150K accounts where I could take, I need $3,000, $4,000 a day because that's 50%. That's still within the 50% for Topstep. So break of the wedge comes and tests this level. Is this now the testing of the bottom of the initial Trump tariff news and now we bounce right back up? I don't know. Something tells me I should be done and stop trying to look for a trade. Ooh, that long right there. That long. Nasty NASDAQ loves full numbers right at the 1,000 level. But that was a nice break. Caesar, you called that one. That was a nice break of the wedge. Good call. Nice call. For anybody who took that, one? Got a nice 20, 30 point flush right there. Probably with some more. Ooh, with continuation. Oh, missing this trade. Nice call, Caesar. But again, yes, this was the break of that wedge, but this short, boy, am I going to have to go back and watch this video or just watch the replay. That was the entry. Top of a range. Tested. We were range bound. There was no reason not to. It was such a cheap trade. You enter, I'm just going to visualize it real quick. You're at the top of a range. You've been range bound, right? You give yourself 20 point stop. Minimal drawdown. It's the cheap trade here, and I've said it. Always take the cheap trade first before you play the breakout. Attempt the fading of the top of that level. Beautiful trade to the downside. Or maybe that's what it is. Lock in your profits. Like I said, my long played out nicely, right? I didn't DCA. I didn't add on a losing trade. This was a 1 to 3 trade, right? I risked about 500 to 600 on this drawdown and walked out with 1900. I'm good. I added on a pullback, not at a top. Getting better. I'm okay with that. Now, the tick end of Tradeify accounts, those took this bounce. They walked out. They're done for till Tuesday. They'll be back. Close those bad boys. I don't even want to entertain any trade on those. Lock in those profits. But yeah, this wedge, the break of this wedge, very nice call, Caesar. Mr. Risco, good to see you here, man. Miss you. I miss my 8 a.m. mornings, morning meetings. And there's the bounce at that teal level. Notice how accurate these levels are. These are 1 hour and 4 hour levels that guide you in direction. I am biting my tongue right now Because at the end of the day, look at the mapping of this trade, right? If you look at the blue levels, these are 1 hour support and resistance levels. What did we just see? Test, rejection of that level to come back and test this level. That's it. That was the trade of the night. Sure, you could have caught the break of that wedge, or you're in a channel and you're continuing to play that channel. But the pro trade and anybody who shorted this, nicely done. Nicely done. All right, well, anybody new to the channel, my name is JC. I trade NASDAQ, NASDQ every single day. I'm going to start doing this live a little more frequently, get you guys some live trades, some winning trades, some losing trades, good ideas, bad ideas. Last week, there's a good video with a bad trade and a recovery trade. And it's just what NASDAQ does. Sometimes you have the right idea, but it's going to push you down 40 points before your bright idea comes into play. Today, to be honest with you, I was looking for a stronger, probably like a 1 to 5, 1 to 6 trade. I walked out with a 1 to 3, which is fine, but I was expecting this bounce to be stronger. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. Walked out with 1900, missed this mega short. But I think at this point, because I missed that trade and I'm beating myself up for it, I may have to just not trade anymore before I get myself in a bad situation where I want to chase a trade or a winning trade. Since that's the biggest problem is you see these moves and you're like, all right, I have 1900, I want 3000. And honestly, today I wanted to walk out with $3,000 on this trade. Didn't get it. I gotta accept it. Varts, you're the lucky winner, right? Aren't you the winner? Yeah, Mr. Varts is the winner of the giveaway. Mr. Varts won the free 100K straight to funded account from Tick Trader. Good luck, man. I want to see payouts in the Discord pretty soon. Phoenix AVS. Phoenix AVS from Cali, Colombia. Parcerito. ¿Cómo vas? Fellow Colombian in the chat. I'm here in Arizona. I was in Colombia over the holidays. All right, well, for anybody new to the stream, to the channel, my name is JC. Do me a favor, smash that like, smash that subscribe button. More importantly, hit that notification bell so that you get updated when I post content. I'm going to start doing this a little more frequently during the New York session as well. You'll see me live streaming. Good trades, bad trades, tilt moments. We're going to bring it all. The good thing is with tilt moments, the views go up. All right, so we saw a flush now to test that level again. Are we going to get the flush to further downside? And at that point, you're back to 940. In other words, testing that pivot point at the 940 level, which provided the initial bounce right here. Phoenix AVS, I'm actually in Chandler, Arizona. But join the Discord. For anybody new to the stream, I have my community Discord. Visit www.jcdaytrader. I am working on getting a trading community going here in Phoenix. A couple of us met on Friday. We did some trading from a hotel room. We had a nice red day. Let me clarify that. For a red session, trading after the open or in the afternoon. It was fun. So yeah, we're gonna start getting a community here in Arizona Hopefully do some meetups and do some day trading live. What to do, what to do, what to do. Slow, too slow, too slow. Well, what time is it? So if we come down and test the 40 or the 50 level, that will be interesting if there's further downside to this. The problem is I'm late to the party. The short, again, beating myself up for this. Where I exited my winning trade, yes, I walked out with $1,900 in the green, but this was the play for that short. I do take trades live. The problem is I'm in the green. Why take a trade? Yeah, you'll have to watch some of the other streams. The trade has already happened. If you're familiar with Quantower, those are the entries and the exit, green and red. I'm $1,900 on these accounts. Why take another trade? I need momentum. A 50-point drop there. All right, let's see what happens here. This is no bueno. Yeah, it's been moving tonight for sure. Trump tariff news doesn't move this much overnight. But I'm trying to find positioning. Let me see. Let me stop the copy trade. Let me see if I can get into a trade. I like the bounce here. If this becomes support, insane move today, PJ. Insane. Yeah, live trading should always be, I'm sorry, your personal funded account should always be the ultimate goal, right? But use prop firms. There's no reason why not to use a prop firm as long as you get paid out, and trade your personal account on the side. That's what I do. But I don't leverage or use my personal account. Personal account only takes certain trades. Prop firms, though, why not? The return on investment on a prop firm, if you get yourself to pay out, is insanity. Yeah, I haven't seen crypto. I saw Bitcoin took, before the Sunday open on futures, I did see that Bitcoin had taken a pullback, but had bounced right before Sunday open. All right, this is what I'm watching for. This 80 level holding, if we're truly going to get back up. If not, then we're just going in for further downside. Come on. I need a sharp movement to the upside or to the downside to get excited. All right, what do we got? Oh, we got 70 viewers on my, what is it, third or fourth live stream. Thank you. Thanks for everyone who's tuned in. Unfortunately, trade has happened already. I did do that live and close it live for you guys, but this is when I say you took 2 trades, or technically 1 trade, and you added to it. You walked out with $1,900 green. Do I need to look for another trade? Probably not. Usually when you do that, that's when you lose. So I think I'm going to call it a night very soon. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. Do me a favor, if you haven't done so, smash that like, smash that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so that you get notified when I post content. Ah, man. 20. The 20 is now flipping to provide support. So during this move to the downside, it provided a resistance to the downside. Now we're attempting to position ourselves above the 20. Something like this to test it would be an interesting long. Or it's too late and the long is happening as we play. But yes, this teal level and the 20 SMA are providing or flipping to support. So tempted. So tempted. But the better decision is lock those profits in and call it a night, JC. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Nice winning trade. It happened early. So for anybody who tuned in late, sorry I can't get into another trade. But that's the rule. Comfortably up, $1,900. Lock in those trades. Don't overtrade. 2 trades and I'm done. I will see you guys tomorrow for the New York session. I will not be trading Tradeify or Tick Trader, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, I'm in the green, so those have to wait till Tuesday to trade again. That was the bounce of that teal level. Beautiful play there for anybody who took it. Nicely done. Have a great night. Keep it green. I'll see you guys this week. And yes, I'll be live streaming from the New York session tomorrow and hopefully take some trades. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor. If you're new to the stream, smash that like, smash the subscribe button, and man, what a beautiful bounce that was.